Hey, Alda and C. Senj, welcome in. Good to have you in here. And Agatka, good to see you. Welcome in. Darlana, welcome in, welcome in. And thank you all for double tapping the screen already. Definitely helps out the live stream. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well, Agatka. Good to have you in here. Welcome in, welcome in. All right. Double trouble once again. Good to see you, Maddie. Glad that you've made it today. All right. Yes, we have double trouble again, meaning we are on YouTube and we are on TikTok. All right. We're doing pretty well, Agatka. I'm a little bit relaxed today. So if I come across like I'm pretty cooked, you know why. We're still in Maui. We're still enjoying the scenery. We're still enjoying the time here. And so for that reason, I'm still kind of, it is what it is. I'm a bit on the relaxed side of things, but I hope you're doing well. All right. Your energy is so good today. Thank you for that compliment. I appreciate that, Maddie. Appreciate you. Thank you. But yes, thank you, C. Senj and Maddie, for double tapping the screen. I also appreciate anyone who shares the live stream. It definitely helps to get it out to our friends and family here on TikTok and the tube of you. Just flip the words around, and if you know what I mean. All right. And the born winner, welcome in. Good to have you. And Jill to Valentine, welcome. Good to have you in as well. All right. There's the data is back, Maddie. All right. And it's good to know also that we're not in timeout yet, at least not yet, right? Let's see. Mel and Scooby Doo, welcome in, welcome in. So we're going to be starting your questions in here very soon. We're waiting for more people to join us here on TikTok and YouTube. All right. And good to know. But yes, good to have you. I see you there, Paige and Shane. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. How's everyone doing today? Let me know. How's everyone doing on this Sunday fun day? All right. So perhaps we can have some fun today. We'll see how it goes. And let's see if our wonderful anti-shifters and skeptics join us today. Let's see what happens. All right. Hey Sophie, good to have you in here. Welcome in. Welcome in. And oh, it's Soup, everybody. Say hello to Soup, the one of our goats here. All right. Soup is the man. All right. W's in the chat for Soup once more. And Asha, good to see you've made it. Nice to see you, Asha. Welcome in today. Good to have you. All right. So let me go ahead and do it. I showed the live to the king. Oh, I see what you did. Okay, thank you, Maddie. And good to see you, Soup. Welcome in. I hope oh yeah, you did you said you got the audiobook. Good to know. Okay. Let me go ahead and do my introduction here. So, my name is Gregory Venvonis. Oh, busy sprinkling, wishing Disney wasn't a lie and I had would creatures to help. That would be really nice, wouldn't it, Paige? And especially we had little fairies and stuff to kind of grant wishes and things like that. That would be amazing, of course. And those that could also help with doing things around the house and everything, that definitely would help. But let me go ahead and do my introduction here. My name is Gregory Venvonis, okay? And I've been a shifter of about 9 years now. I think I started in technically February of 2016. So it's been about 9 years. I've also written a book on the matter. It's called The Core Essentials of Reality Shifting. And so we do these live streams to talk about shifting, whether you agree or disagree. So if you're a skeptic or if you agree with shifting, feel free to post in the comment section, rather which way you go here, which way you swing. All right. And also, if you're not sure, you can also post if you're not sure if you believe shifting is real or not. So we talk about it. We have some fun. We take your questions, and we want to be a source of empowerment, motivation, and inspiration and learning for you here today. And we hope that you find it in this live stream. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. All right. I bought your book because I need someone to start a campfire. Okay. Well, I suppose different strokes, different folks. Okay. So if you want to, use my book to start a campfire, I think that's pretty inefficient. All right. You could get some fire logs for that, right? I would recommend some fire logs if you want to have a better fire. But good to see you, Asha. That it took you 3 minutes. Okay. Maybe sometimes sometimes it's how it goes, I must say. All right. But I'm glad to see you in here. We were kind of missing you a little bit, your with your humor and just your whole personality here. It's always a joy to have you. And nice to see you here, Victor. Good to have you. We have 103 people in here. Good to see all of you here. Also, for anyone that's not aware, we're double streaming. So we're here on TikTok and we're on YouTube. Again, the link is in the bio if you want to check that out. If you search Venvonis, Venvonis, that's how you'll find me as well. All right. Greg missed me and my day is better. All right, yeah. Well, we're glad that you're here. And Skibbity Amanda has joined us. Welcome in, Skibbity. Very Skibbity. Welcome in. I have shifted before, Algerin. Yes, many times. Probably 100 or so times. I don't keep track, but it's been somewhere in that vicinity. All right. But good to have you all in here. Welcome in. I hope everyone's Sunday is going well. And again, we are also streaming on YouTube. So if you want to go ahead and check that out as well, we are on there too. And the link is in my bio for the YouTube. All right. Okay. Hey, Mooney, good to have you. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. And good to see you, Trony. Welcome. Nice that you're in here as well. And Lush Monster, we're seeing a lot of familiar and new faces here today. It's very cool. And thank you for the heart puffs. Thank you. Reaching member level 10. Let's go. W's in the chat to Trony. All right. And glad to hear that your Sunday's going well, Salem. Glad to hear. Thank you for the follow, Zoturi. How do I shift for the first time? I've tried so many times, but it hasn't worked. Well, I would recommend check out my two pinned videos. So number one, where I talk about focusing on the post shifting at outcome. Okay. You also want to change your state of focus from trying to shift to being a successful shifter that successfully shifts. Okay. Number three, what you want to do is that you want to you can also try my clone back method. That's been very helpful and successful for about certainly 4 or 5 people so far that I can account for that have used this method to successfully shift to their DR. It was actually the first method I ever used, and I shipped on my first ever attempt, by the way. So I would recommend those three things. And if you want, you can also feel free to follow up with me, and I can go ahead and clarify anything that needs to be clarified. And I'm glad that you made it here, Trony. It's always nice to see you too as well. And thank you for the compliment, Lush Monster. All right. And thank you everyone for the follows. I see some follows. All right. Let's see. Give me motivation to study. I have a test tomorrow. Well, so for me, here's how it went. When I was in college, for example, honestly, there were times where I procrastinated to the very last minute, but a lot of times I just trusted that I would do well on the test, and I would. Many times I just literally it would be amazing. I would just recall things, and I would just, the night before, just really cram and study things and just trust I would remember them. Or that, especially if it was multiple choice, something like that, I would just trust my, if you want to say, subconscious, and it would tend to work out very well. So I would just kinda trust your studies and trust yourself on the exam tomorrow. All right, Lush Monster? And thank you, Delilah, for the follow, and is it Eva, or it's hard to read your username there, it's in cursive, but good to see you and welcome in, welcome in, all right. I'm pulling up YouTube. Jennifer, if you search YouTube, and thank you for the heart me, Asha. You've always been on the team. Thank you. If anyone wants to join the team, it's only like a coin, and you just do the heart me in the coin section, wherever that is. But on YouTube, if you search Venis, that's my handle on there. You'll find me on YouTube, or you can check the link in the bio of my TikTok account. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and catch up here. I'm 20 messages back. All right. Okay. Does putting on the clothes of my DR self help? Well, if your clothes can that bow tie. Of course, Asha, you would send that. It's very, very fancy and very kawaii of you to send. All right. I was saying putting on the clothes of my DR self. Um, if it helps you connect with your DR self and helps you connect with your DR in a way that feels legitimate and authentic and real, but not delusional, but actually real and authentic, then perhaps that could be, oh, Paige coming in with the heart me. Yeah, your first gift ever. Let's go, Paige. Thank you for joining the team. Although, of course, you have been on the team for quite a while. Always thank you for being here and thank you for the heart me. Definitely appreciate it. But yes, with Victor, if that helps you connect with your DR and your DR self, then by all means, I would recommend doing so because that way, that can help you identify the unique frequency, can help you connect with it and help you eventually anchor there. Okay. So you just want to make sure that you're, at least how I would recommend it, you're not doing it in a way that's delusional. Okay. So that would be my recommendation. Thank you for the heart puff page. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Sadly. You're all good, Maddie. You've just being you is enough here. That's for sure. Thank you. Let's see here. It looks so cutesy, of course. All right. Spooky says, I lucid dreamt last night, first time. Well, congratulations on the lucid dream. Though lucid dream is a little bit different from shifting. We've explained that several times here in these live streams, but real quick, lucid dreams are, you know that they're different from a shift because when you wake up from them, you can compare and contrast and understand that you had a dream. When you come back from a shift and you compare and contrast, they both feel and they both are real experiences. All right. You're just having a real experience in a different reality. That's the difference, okay? And Mish, thank you for the follow. I hope I said your name right. All right. It's so funny. I was using my mouse here to try to scroll on my TikTok account, and, it's connected to my computer. Thank you for the chilies, Asha. Very spicy. All right. Let me this is a little bit off topic, chat. What do you think of the idea of me doing certain challenges? Like, if I ate, like, the world's hottest chip and any other challenges like that, not on this account, but on another account. What do you think of that, chat? The chilies here from Asha just remind me of that. Let me know in the comments what you think about me doing videos like that. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So God and shifting are not mutually exclusive, Vert. You can have the view of both of them. All right. So they're not mutually exclusive. Okay, let me see here. Let's see. Are you sure reality shifting isn't just daydreaming? Yes, 100%. I would ask you, zaned out. Do you view the experience you're having right here with me right now as a daydream, or do you view this as reality? Because if you view this as reality, this level of realism is the same kind of realism that me and other shifters have had when they go to their DR. Okay. So from that perspective, it's real. It's not a daydream. When you're daydreaming, the experience that you're having, if you're having the experience, is not gonna be on the same level of realism. It may just be bound to feelings, okay, or pictures in your mind's eye. But you're not having a full immersive sensory experience, if that makes any sense here. Okay. Alright, let's see, that would be fun, okay. Oh, you sent me I just noticed you sent me 69 chilies, Asha, how appropriate. How PG and appropriate of you today. Alright, but I just saw that on the chat here. Okay. Yeah, I just saw it. I yes, well, I was about to say we like the number, but we have to keep it PG, okay? We have to keep it PG. Oh, yeah, let me check on YouTube here. World's hottest ship and only drink water, no milk or ice cream. Wow, that sounds like quite the challenge, Sully. I see you there. But yeah, so for anyone that is not aware, I'm also live streaming on YouTube. Again, the link is in my bio if you want to check out my YouTube account. All right. I also have affirmations for shifting audios, and I will also be posting more audios like guided meditations and subliminals for shifting. So if you like those things, I do recommend checking out the Tube U. Just flip the words around. All right. Okay. Thank you, Lothe or Lotharkin. Thank you. Yes, I have shifted many times, Marie. Okay. We do like the number. All right. Let's see here. Just going ahead and catching up here. Let's see. TikTok should add a multiverse gift, and Soup says that would be insane. So, like, you have a TikTok. Imagine a TikTok multiverse, everybody. Like that. I imagine that would be like 1,000 coins if it was something like that. That would be absolutely remarkable, Chad. If there was a TikTok multiverse or a TikTok. Now, imagine this. Imagine a TikTok omniverse. Now that would be something, Chad. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, I'm getting some more comments here on the YouTube, all right. When did you discover shifting? How did you discover it? I discovered shifting about 9 years ago, although at the time I was calling it quantum jumping, okay, or rather dimension jumping. There's so many terms that are similar. Um, and basically, the long story short is I had an experience that was a little bit unintentional, but very profound and existential. And after a period of comparing and contrasting different theories or explanations for what I had experienced, after critical thinking, meditation, um, research, things like this, I was compelled to accept the truth of the matter that I had changed from one reality to a parallel or duplicate reality. It was very, very remarkable. And I talk about a little bit in my book, The Core Essentials of Reality Shifting, in the preface. Okay. My story as a shifter, all right? My story as a shifter, if you wanna take a look at it, it's in my book, but the subject matter is a little bit too spicy for TikTok to handle, all right? Let's see here. All right, so Peter, send me a DM on TikTok, and I can elaborate further. I just don't wanna talk about some of these subject matters here on the live streams, because they don't like the discussion of certain things here, but, it's hard to believe I can shift when I can't even lucid dream astral. I know, seriously, Trony, when I feel like I'm more proficient at shifting than I am at lucid dreaming, so it's kinda interesting. Although I've had many lucid dreams over the years, I feel like I'm more proficient at shifting. I don't know why that's the case, but, it is what it is. Time changes, my comments get missed sometimes. Oh, that's very smart of you, Trony. Very, very smart to post your comments on YouTube. That way they get seen. All right. Let's go ahead and go back to TikTok here. I just want to make sure I am caught up here. All right. So biggest is saying, so if we can shift, can we be immortal? So is my view that we are already eternal beings at a fundamental level. You and I, all of us, we are already eternal. Okay. And shifting is an expression of that eternalness. Because if you think about it, you have the capability and the potentiality to shift to wherever you want to shift to. And you can keep doing this indefinitely or eternally. Again, it's an expression of your fundamental self. That's how I view it. So it's not that shifting gives you the ability to be immortal or eternal. It's my view that's the other way around, that you're already eternal and therefore you can shift. Okay. You're already an eternal consciousness, therefore you can shift. All right. Okay. Let's see here. How long did it take me to shift for the first time? Thug butt. I see you're back. Okay. So, the first time I deliberately shifted, so in other words, I shifted on purpose, it took me about a year or a year and a half, probably closer to a year and a half. I had several different blockages, like the idea that I could get stuck in my desired reality, or that if I proved shifting was real to myself, that life would get boring. I had some other ones too. There was still a part of me that felt like I was kind of like there not that it was delusion, but that like there has to be a like mainstream scientific explanation for what I had experienced. And so I had that little thing on my shoulder or in my mind, metaphorically speaking, that was like still doubting. So I had a sufficient amount of doubt that was kind of holding me back that I had to get through. But in at the end of it, I got through it enough to have enough willpower to do my first ever method, which I now call the clone back method, and you can view that on my TikTok account. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and catch up here. Apologize if I miss any comments here. Shifting is the idea that we are conscious beings with a consciousness, all right? And we move our consciousness from this reality to another reality, which we call our desired reality. And this reality is just as real as this reality right here, all right? That's essentially what shifting is. When you hear about it on TikTok, that's what we're referring to. What does shifting feel like as you are shifting? So in my experience, it feels kind of like, it feels natural and comfortable, but the only thing that feels different is that I kind of feel like, the best way I've still been able to explain it is kind of like if you take 2 mirrors, like if you take your bathroom mirror and your hand mirror and you kind of reflect them and you see that kind of ongoingness, that kind of stretchy, outy endlessness kind of feeling. Imagine you were or if you see that, imagine if you're feeling that. That's the best way I can explain it. Like, it just kind of feels like I'm really kind of far out dude or far out man, if you will. And, usually that kinda happens, and then sometimes I'll also feel like I'm in 2 different realities at the same time, but that tends to not last very long. And eventually I anchor into my DR, and after a certain period, maybe this varies a lot, but I would say couple like maybe about a minute, my CR self, thoughts, memories completely fade away, and I'm just in my DR and having a DR experience, okay? Now, the first ever time I deliberately shifted, that did not happen. The whole time I was in my very oop, I just hit my desk here. My very PG experience with my previous girlfriend at the time in the kitchen, okay? when I was having that whole experience, I was very aware of my CR, like, literally the whole time, but that's not usually what happens. Usually, my, CR experience and all that kind of fades to the back, if that makes any sense, and I am 47 messages back, okay. Let's see here. But yeah, my first ever shift. So I talk about 2 different shifts. There's my first ever shift where it was not it was not intentional. Then there was my first deliberate shift, which obviously was intentional. So, the first one I had ever was not intended. I didn't know anything about shifting. This was way before Shifttok, okay? If you had told me that this was a real thing, I would have thought more of in the context of an anime, like, or something or like a Marvel movie or something where there's other realities, or at the time, I had a very, 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 very rudimentary understanding of quantum physics, and so I just basically my knowledge on that was limited to, like, I read an article headline that said that could there be other realities or parallel universes, and that was the extent of all I knew, okay? And yet I had this experience. So, for any of the skeptics out there, this is more assurance. This is not cognitive bias or cognitive dissonance for me. I had an experience, and logically, the only explanation that made any sense was that I literally, at the time I was calling it jumped. I jumped from one reality to a parallel or duplicate reality of my previous reality. And this was based off of just what I was sensing. This was based off of different Mandela effects I had. So I use this example all the time. If you have two houses that are exactly the same paint job, carpet, furnishings, etc. You go into house A, close your eyes, get a sense for it. Leave that house, go to house B, close your eyes, get a sense for that house. When you compare and contrast how they both are you're sensing them, you know they're different, even though on the surface they seem to be the same. Okay. So I had that experience, but with an entire reality. All right. That was basically my first ever shifting experience altogether. So again, it was not deliberate, it was unintentional, but it was very profound, and I'm glad I had it. Okay, now I'm way back. Let me just go ahead and catch up here. Let's see here. But welcome in everyone. Let's keep on doing the double taps. So while I'm getting caught up here, let's all work together on the double taps, the likes, and the shares. It helps get us more of our friends and family in this live stream. And we're going for 30,000 likes today. Let's see if we can do so. All right. Just go ahead and check on YouTube here real fast. All right. We got a room reveal on YouTube. Yes. I don't know how to do I don't know how to do green screen on YouTube. So you get to see the room I'm staying in. It's a part of a larger property, but I'm staying in currently in a room here. But anyway, I'm also on my just old, I almost said the A word, my old webcam on my that's built into my laptop, so it's really not the best, but it is what it is. We still wanted to be on YouTube as well. But yes, thank you all for double tapping. Thank you for sharing and following. We do appreciate it. If you are interested in following, it's right here, I think, on TikTok. It's a little plus symbol. And we'd love to have you here on the team as well. If you want to join our team, it's a little heart me thing in the coins area. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and catch up here. Thanks for the follows. All right. Have you ever shifted to a reality that you didn't intend to? Yes, several times, Ensub. So most of the time when that happens, I've gone to parallel realities, not just parallel realities, but literally in the same place I'm in. Like, for example, when I was in my apartment a couple years ago, I shifted to a parallel version of it where I was basically in the duplicate version of my bed, my apartment, everything. And it was so similar that it took me some time after I came back from my shift because there were certain things I was remembering and they had taken place during that shift. And like for example, um, in this particular shift I'm thinking of, there were some people that came up to my door. And at the time I had like a home security system. Oh, thank you for the heart me and super appreciate it. And but there were some people that in this shift had come up to my door, and when I shifted back, I thought that they had come up to my door in my CR, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, when did people come up to my door?" And so I check on my phone app, on my, what is it called? Vivint. If anyone's heard of the Vivint smart home, that's what I had. And I check on it, and it seems that there was no one at the door. And I'm like, "Oh," right? And I start putting 2 and 2 together and realize I had shifted. It was indeed a shift, okay? But that was just one of the things. There were some other things, but I feel like I'm already on a yap fest right now. I'm way backed up on messages here. Let me just really catch up here. Okay. Okay. Let me kitchen counter time. Okay. Okay, Maddie. All right. Let's see. You said you've perma shifted before. Where? I have perma shifted basically to this reality. So my previous reality, which was the my initial starting reality, um, was basically like here. But there were some key Mandela effect tier differences. For example, the number one thing that sticks out to me is Mongolia being a modern day country. In my previous reality, I know this for sure because I've been very into geography. I'm into politics. I'm into all these different things. And I would have known if Mongolia was a modern day country. And that was one of the things I found that was a big difference on a societal level. There were also some differences in my personal life that had changed. Okay. So these are some of the ways I used to determine I had indeed jumped or shifted to another reality. Okay. So that unintentional situation I talk about in my book, that was my first, that was a perma shift, okay? Because I have not been back to, although on some level, I feel like if I really wanted to, I could connect with that original reality. In fact, I have a little bit, and, yeah, there's some things I can talk about, but again, it's like a little bit either sad or, um I'll just mention it real fast. Like one of the aspects is I feel like I was able to connect with like my parents and the fact I wasn't there. Well, okay, I think it's a little bit too heavy again for the TikTok live stream. Okay. If you're interested, anyone who's interested in that experience, my first ever shift, send me a DM. I can talk about it a little bit more. But I just think it's a little bit, I don't know if TikTok likes the subject matter. So anyway, I'll just keep going here. 50 messages back. Thank you for the follows, everyone. I appreciate it. Donna jumped. Are you for real right now? Yes, Batman, I am for real. You've been watching Survivor all day. That's an interesting choice, Matt. You know what I watched randomly yesterday? Yeah, I bet none of you will ever guess what I watched, but I'm going to I'll go ahead and say what I watched. It's a show called Super Nanny, okay? The most random thing I could have watched, but it appeared on my YouTube, and it looked interesting. So, it's like where you have these unruly kids, and you have this lady who's known this as the super nanny that comes in and basically wants to, help the families kinda get, more like, have proper behavior, I would say, okay? But I haven't finished watching the episode, but it's like this show from I think it was on in like the 2000s in Britain. It sounds by the looks and sounds of it. And I was watching that. But anyway, we're digressing here. Let me go ahead and catch up. We're at 69. Oh, 69K likes. Not yet. Maybe one day. Okay. Glad to see you're still here, Paige. It's all good that you're busy. We all have things to do for sure. And Sassy, thank you for the follow. Definitely appreciate it. All right. Okay. All right. Let me just really catch up here. Okay. So if anyone has a really important question that you wanna have asked, feel free to ask it more than once. I just need to catch up here. Okay, also, the other thing, chat, if you want to have a better chance of me answering your question, just for the meantime, let's do like a lightning round, like yes or no type questions or questions where I can kinda give a quick answer to. Alright, then we can get back to more of the longer form answers. Oh, you guys like Super Nanny, really? Okay. Yeah, I hadn't really heard of it before, but it just popped up on my related videos, and, I just decided to watch it. Okay. Okay. Of course, when I get caught up, I see, "Does it clap?" Of course, okay. So, I'd have to ask you 2 that question for you, "Does it clap?" But, I have never yeah, well, we'll keep it PG. We'll keep it PG, okay? What method do you recommend? I mean, without visualizing. So I recommend the 17 seconds method or the intent method. Okay. Those are two methods I do recommend in those cases. Would you say belief, faith is the key to shifting? I think they're important, but they're not like, I think the most important thing is cultivating and understanding your core sense of shifting identity, which is that you are pure consciousness with the capability and deservability to shift to the reality that you prefer. Okay. But belief and faith is important because when you believe in shifting, okay, you're opening yourself up to the possibility of having shifting experience. You're making it easier, in my view. And when you're having faith, you're trusting that that experience will happen for you at some point. Okay. Um, let's see here. Okay. I'm just checking YouTube real fast and didn't forget about you all here. All right. Let me just go ahead and check. I see you there, Asha. Okay. All right. I never lucid dreamed, and intentions are just advanced. So, all right. Not sure how I should go about shifting without any prior experience. Well, Trony, I would just suggest to just go ahead and just jump into it. Okay. You don't want to overcomplicate it. I know there's some people I've seen that have been saying that you need to astral project or that they recommend astral projection or lucid dreaming or the void state or things like this. And I feel like it adds an extra layer or complication potentially, especially if you're a beginner or you're struggling to shift. Now, if you're already proficient at those things, then by all means, if you're proficient at lucid dreaming or astral projection or the void state, perhaps then you can use it to shift. But generally speaking, my recommendation would be just to have the state where you know that you can shift from wherever, whenever. Okay, whether you're astral projected or whether you're here in CR or whatever the case is. Okay, I missed the Kawhi. Oh, I did? Oh, I missed it. And Nsoup coming in with the star map. Let's go, Nsoup. W's in the chat for 2-star maps. Okay, Nsoup is good. Nsoup, you are just amazing to me. Thank you so much. You're just getting it started once more. W's in the chat, everyone. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment to give appreciation to Nsoup, everybody. Thank you so much. Of course. Thank you. Okay. Let me real fast just check in here with YouTube. I'll be right back to TikTok here. Are longer shifts hard to maintain than short ones? Like, is there a difference between hours, days slash years? In my experience, I don't think so. Okay, but most of my shifts have been relatively shorter, like with under a week. But I feel like I could extend it. I just prefer, um, and this might be a little bit of a blockage, okay, for me, but I feel like I just like experiencing all my realities, having them compartmentalized, okay? And again, so just I want to preface that this is just my current thoughts. I'm not stating this as a fact or anything, but it's my current thought. I feel like for me personally, if I was shifting for a longer duration of time, it could maybe affect my groundedness in my relation to my CR at this present time. Now, in the future, as I get more used to things and more organized, I don't think that would be the case for me personally. But from to answer your question, I think that it is more it's not like it's harder or easier to do it for a longer duration. Maybe there could be for some of us, there could be certain little blockages with longer shifts because it seems like people there's more mini shifts and shorter shifts than there are longer shifts, okay? But this is just me kinda semi speculating here, all right? Okay. I missed it again, really? What did I miss? I missed it I missed it? Oh my god. Oh, I see the bow now. Oh, I missed it. Okay, thank you, Nsoup. I see it there. I see the notification. Thank you so much. Okay, now we're back. We are back on TikTok for now. We'll be back checking the YouTube comments shortly. And again, if you're not aware of this, we are also live streaming on YouTube. Very fun, everybody. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and ask a question, Landon. There it is. You would never see me wearing something like this in person, that is for sure. But we love our kawaii gifts. We love all of our gifts. Thank you so much. I saw it this time though, because I'm checking on TikTok. But thank you, Ensu. We appreciate it. How do you shift by intention? Well, intention again is a deliberate action for a certain outcome. For example, you set an intention and you're continuing to continue with your intention by watching this live stream, right? So intention is again just deliberate action to a certain outcome. So you just simply have, oh, a naughty chicken. Let's go with that. Another, I love the augmented gifts. They're always a lot of fun. Okay. We're having some fun today, chat. I can see we're at 11,000 likes. We're having fun. We're sharing. We're double tapping. We're also on YouTube as well. So we're really mixing it up here. But as far as intention goes, it's very simple. You just have like you have a deliberate energy in a direction. In this case, my recommended direction would be having a true and real shifting experience or DR experience rather. okay? And you want to stay persistent, patiently persistent in that, okay? So this is how you can leverage intention, but I would say more importantly than intention is again how I was saying a few minutes ago about your core. Ooh, what's that? That's really nice. Into the light from Asha. Thank you, Asha. Let's go with that. W's in the chat for Asha. Thank you so much. But with to continue with the answer here with intention, more important than that is your strong sense of shifting identity. So cultivating this idea, this identity that you are pure consciousness with the capability and deservability to shift to the reality that you prefer. All right. Hope that answers your question here. When you shift with someone, how do they just come with you? Because can't you just make anyone because can't you just make anyone come with you? So what you're referring to, Ladna, is it ex Ladna or Ladna is group shifting. So my recommendation with group shifting is to do it in a way where all everyone in the party or all parties are, comfortable and they're natural about it. It's consented to, okay, and that you're shifting to the same DR if that's what you want to do. So, one of the easier ways to do it is to basically have a group script, okay? So where you're all working on kind of or reviewing the same kind of script. And this is the way that you can kind of help to ensure that you're shifting to the same DR rather than a different DR or a different variation of that particular DR. If that makes sense. I also have a couple videos on group shifting that can really help you out, Ladna. I think they're titled something something group shifting. They're like maybe 12 or 15 videos back, but those could definitely help you. All right. I was hoping it would match your face. Okay. All right there, Asha. I see. Okay. Like, okay, Maddie, you're starting to step into timeout territory with that one. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it here. Do the people you want to come with you shift at the exact same time as you? So I think that could happen, but I mean, I've never group shifted before, but to me, just kind of discerning or intuiting this right now, um, it seems to me that what's important is that you're all shifting to like perhaps like the same relative moment in your DR, but you don't have to shift at the exact same time, but that could perhaps make it easier just for organizational purposes, okay? This is kind of what I'm sensing though, but I've never group shifted myself, but, um, that's why I wanna do group shifting at some point because I wanna get more of these questions, like, confirmed, okay? Let me go ahead and switch over to YouTube real fast. Let me see if there's any other questions here. I use my phone to script everything. It doesn't matter where you script, does it? So yeah, you can script whatever works for you, Sully. If you want to use your phone to script, if you want to write it down in a physical notepad, okay. I use a Word document. That's like my preferred way to do it. And that's just what I'm used to because back when like, based off of my college years and also just writing novels, okay, like I'm just used to Word documents. And so that was like the easiest leap for me, but you can use Notion, you can use Word documents, you can use, your phone, you can use, like I said, a physical notepad, anything like that, whatever works for you to help you connect with your DR's unique frequency or identity, okay? And good to see you, Asha, here on YouTube, all right? Nice to see you. And Jesse, thank you for the rose, I appreciate it, thank you. And we are back on TikTok, everybody, so we're just looking for your questions, all right? I hope you're all enjoying yourself. Let's do a quick poll, everybody. If you're enjoying yourself today, let's do a vote, all right? Happy face if you're having a great time or fun time, if you're learning today. Crying face if you're cringing out and you're not enjoying yourself, okay? Let us know either way. Honest answers only, please, okay? All right. And also, I wanted to do as a reminder, okay? As a reminder, oh, there's the it's like an Elvis. How appropriate. Thank you, Ensu. So a lot of people have been saying I look like Elvis or Elvis's like, biracial grandson and all these different things. How appropriate. Okay. But thank you for that, Ensu. I definitely appreciate that. As I was saying, I know a lot of you have sent me DMs, okay? And perhaps after I get off of this live stream, I'm going to get started on answering those DMs. So I apologize if I haven't gotten to your DM. So I wanna get to that, and I also wanna work on my trading card game. So that's 2 things I wanna do for today, other than just enjoying the Maui-ness of Hawaii, okay? I'm going to be, doing those things today. So look out for some responses. I'm gonna do my best to there's a lot of DMs I gotta get to, but hey, Rotten Mutt, good to see you, welcome in. Elvis cosplay win. Well, I feel like I would need a lot to, make that work, I would say. I would have to have totally different hair and different other things, but, I can certainly do the Obama cosplay. But at this point, I would need to have short hair for that, but, I have done an Obama cosplay at the time when I was in college. I went to UCLA, and, that's why I was getting so much of it too probably, 'cause I was majoring in political. Oh, what's that? Oh, I've never seen that. Thank you for that. The fairy mask. Okay, thank you for that. Um, let's see, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I was saying that, when I was Obama or when I was at UCLA, all I did was put on a suit, okay? There was one time I just owned it. I majored in political science. I'm still in the politics and all that, which is ironic because in all these things I do, I'm like, "No politics, no news, no conspiracies," okay? Because I feel like there's plenty of that to go around, okay? We wanna have spaces where we can just kinda have a fun time, we can learn, we can do all these different things, chat. There's plenty of areas to discuss all that. So, anyway, the Obama stuff was very prominent back then, especially, and I had very short hair, so it just made it even more the case, and what okay, okay, thank you for that, and soup with the corgi. Alright, I'm getting a lot of new gifts today. Thank you for that, alright? Thank you for the W's to N soup again. He's definitely, start like turning it up on here for sure. That corgi is so me. I wonder why. I wonder why that corgi is so you, Asha. I really don't know why that corgi would be you. Maybe does it have to do with does it something? Does it something? All right. Maybe that's why it reminds us of you there, Asha. All right. Okay. But thank you for the follow, Lace. I appreciate you for that. Thank you for that. All right. Let's see. Let me see. Go ahead here. Do you think we all shifted here and sort of scripted that we would forget? In other words, is this life at the starting point or have we always shifted? That's a good question. I have a couple theories onto that. Some of that is how do I okay. I think there's a multitude of reasons. Some people may have shifted here. In fact, there's some people who have claimed that. Perhaps I guess technically myself, right? But I'm talking about even with my previous reality, where it was basically like this reality. I would say that some people may have been, sent here. Some people may have chosen to come here. Some people may have been it's a little bit on the darker side. Some people may have been forced to come here. Okay, chat. There's a couple ways I can go about this, and it's a little bit outside the scope of this live stream. But yeah, I would just say it just depends. Okay. And hey, Mrs. Little Fish, good to have you in here. Welcome in, welcome in. All right. Let's see. Yeah, some people have said Elon Musk may have been someone who shifted here because he was almost like for some people a Mandela effect, okay? So, like, they don't remember him from the 2000s or early 2010s. It's like he just kind of appeared, right? Let's see here. Thank you for the stinging bee. Okay. Let's see. What's it gonna do? Oh, he just kind of flew away. I thought he didn't sting. I thought he was gonna sting me. Okay. But thank you for that, and soup. All right. Let's see. Tom Holland, bro's gotten everything he wanted. Perhaps so, Asha. Wow, interesting. The bee was kind. Yes, he was. All right. Every time you pop up on my FYP, I take it as a sign to attempt to shift. Interesting. Well, have you shifted? So, is it saxophone and a dolphin? Have you shifted before, or you're still looking for your first shift? Let me know. All right. Let's see. How are we doing on YouTube? Okay, we're caught up here. Okay. Let's see. I did too. I thought it was gonna sting as well. I mean, the name says stinging bee. How do you have a stinging bee that does not sting? How does that make any sense? Perhaps he wasn't feeling stingy today. He wanted to just kind of fly around my face and kind of, listen to the shift talk for a little bit, perhaps. Okay. Let's see here. Hello, shifting man, Rennie's saying. Well, hello to you too, Rennie. Good to see you. Alright, he's back, thank oh, ow, that hurts. Ouch. Now I'm gonna get, like, one of those little welts on my face. Thanks for that, Asha. Why did that one sting? The other one didn't seem to sting. I don't know what happened. Okay. I have once, but I'm at a weird point, not sure what I'm not doing quite right. That's a really curious thing because I know there's some of us who have had a shift before or have had many shifts, and then they're not able to shift for a while. And, it could be different reasons. I think one of the leading causes for that perhaps could be an overcomplication, or they start learning other information and it gets confusing. Like, for example, you may see that you need to, like it's important to go to the void state, or you need to have a lucid dream, and then you can start shifting, and then that kind of confuses the person, or they may learn some kind of new method or new strategy, and it's just like too much for them. When in reality, what could help is just kind of going back to basics and going back to what was working for them. So that could very well be the case for you there, saxophone. Just simply overcomplication. But let me know if that resonates. Did I eat the pineapple? No, she's still with us. Look, she is still with us, chat. But I think this might be the last day. I think Piney's sister, I think this is her last day before her wonderful crown gets planted. And she has her offspring in the next year and a half or so. So if I don't eat this pineapple today, I think it's gonna if it's not already, I think it's gonna go bad. So I have no choice here, chat. All right. But she's still with us. Okay. Let's see. The American. Oh, Harami. Good to see. Welcome in, Harami. Okay. Well, that's kind of wild there, but I don't know what to say about that, but how is what's his name doing? The I'm blanking on his name, the, Chuck Norris. Ooh, what's that? Pink dress. These gifts are so different today. How is Chuck Norris doing, Rami? How is the Parnell universe up to? What's going on in the Parnell universe? Let us know, Rami. All right. Rami is back, everybody. Let's see. Let's see here. If I cheat in my DM, is it really cheating? Well, because your DM. If I ch my D Are you talking about, like, if you DM somebody? What do you mean by that, Harami? That's kinda wild. Well, I don't condone that, okay? I don't condone, cheating, although it's different if all parties are aware of what's going on. That's different, okay? If you have multiple partners and they're all aware versus you're doing it behind the back, okay? I'm not an advocate of that, alright? But, if you cheat in your DM, is it really cheating? Well, who are you DMing, Harami? Is it anyone on IG, I wonder? Or are you DMing Chuck Norris? Or are you DMing something for beard tips? Let us know in the comments. Okay. No, don't hurt her. Well, I don't know what to do. You guys make it so awkward to eat these pineapples. I have to say, at least you'll be sweeter, I see. You would look so good in that. And good in, oh, the dress. Oh my. Okay, chat. Yeah, in my DM, we're in love. Chuck Norris is our third. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing with that. That's a very different fanfic, I have to say there, Harami. All right. Okay. Cornell, thank you for the follow. Ensu, let's go with the Into the Light. That's a pretty interesting gift that you and Asha have sent. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Your shoulders are looking pretty tense. Let me help with that. Yeah, feel for it. So here's some why this is the case. So I have this computer chair, and I'm not sure if you can see them, but the what was that? Thank you for that. But the hand rest, I can't adjust the hand rest, so it's like propping my shoulders up, and so I have to keep going like this and like that. So that's why it's like that, chat. These hand rests do not collapse or do anything. It is what it is, but we're making do. Okay. Let's see. Me in my other world, I shifted from in my main world. We're in. Oh my God. Okay, Harami, you're starting to kind of go down a very non-PG lane, I have to say. Okay. There you go. I accept tips in cash or card. Okay. Let's see. Do you accept pecans, Asha? I have some lovely pecans. Here's your tip. All right, there you go. I present to you some pecan tips. Okay. Oh, I also have something else. 1 moment, chat, 1 moment. You'll never guess what I have. You'll never guess, Asha. I'm just showing that real fast. There's your tip, okay? There is your tip. Oops, I just dropped my pecans. Okay, where are we going with this live stream right now? Okay, all right. Let's see. I can't help where I shifted. Well, perhaps you just need to learn how to script. You just need to learn how to script so you know where you're shifting to. Okay. We do recommend scripts here because it definitely helps you to identify your unique frequency or the unique essence of your desired reality. All right. And that way you can know where you are shifting to. Okay. All right. Any tips for focusing while trying to shift? Even when I listen to guided meditations, it's hard. Um, Well, what I would do here is that you wanna reduce things you wanna just focus on each moment. Focus on one moment to the next and just winning each moment as it relates to shifting, okay? So, just, just do your best to focus on the moments. Focus on you know, focus on what you want to focus on a moment to moment basis, whether that's your breathing, whether that's a DR image, whether that's a particular sound, whatever it is, and just build up from there. Okay, so it might be the case that you're you're attempting to focus on too much. Okay, so what you can do is reduce it down to a moment to moment basis. If that makes any sense for you, Agatka. All right. Okay. Okay, Maddie, you are on the verge of a timeout, and Ensup, let's go with the meteor shower. I love that gift. Thank you so much, Ensup, for the meteor shower. All those cosmic gifts are amazing. I love those. All right, and I it's been a while since I've gotten that gift. Thank you so much, Ensup. Again, let's take about 30 seconds. Everyone, W's in the chat for Ensup, everybody. All right. Okay. Yeah, but Maddie, you are on the verge of a timeout. You also want a tip. I know what you mean by that. Okay. I have an idea. I think I have a little idea, or perhaps a big idea of what you mean, but that's all I'm gonna say. Live is hitting today. Okay, Emerald. All right. Nice to hear. Okay. Yeah, you all liked that particular tip for Asha, I see. Let's see. Okay. Your reactions response to her. Yes, well, he just said something that's kinda wild, so, yeah, that's way too wild, okay? "We're in love in my DR, Gregory." Oh my what's this? What are we doing here? Okay? What are we doing, Harami? That's quite, quite wild, I have to say. I don't know how a brain could conceive of that all going together. I really don't. Okay, let's see here. I love that. Yeah, it's a great gift. Yes, thank you again, Ensup, definitely. I agree, Asha. I agree. Perhaps even more than timeout. Okay. Do you have any tips? Do I have any tips? What do you mean by that? Any tips in what way, Kalina? Are you talking about shifting? I would say check out my two pinned videos. Okay. Those two pinned videos I pinned them for a reason because I've used those strategies to shift many times over the years. So one of which is basically creating a method in real time when you're, intending to shift. You create a method that is easy, simple, natural for you, and is indicative of shifting success. Okay. Number two is to focus on having a post shifting outcome rather than the process of shifting. Okay. So those are two things that you can do. All right. Check out my two pin videos. All right. Okay. Do I believe in quantum immortality? Yes, saxophone. All right. Let's see. Hey, this is kinda weird, but, like, every time I try to shift, I fall asleep really fast. So, Kalina, I would say you wanna do a position when you're doing your shifting method, one that's very comfortable, but one that you don't fall asleep in or don't fall asleep in easily. For me, that's laying on my back and putting my right foot on my the right side of my left ankle and laying like that, okay? So, Harami is shifting. Okay, where are you well, do I even wanna ask you where you're shifting to at this point? I mean you're on your eggnog business for sure. More than eggnog. Maybe you put something extra in that eggnog today. This might be random. I keep seeing you on my feed, and my gut told me to join every time. Thank you, Cloud. I'm hoping that these are glad to see that these are resonating with you. We do these live streams as a source of inspiration, empowerment for you, teaching, knowledge, etc., and motivation. Okay, and also some fun. We're having fun here, as you're seeing. Okay, so glad to see it's resonating with you. Let's check in on YouTube. Okay, let's see here. All right, message retracted. I see. If you decide you wanted to ship today, right now, could you do it effortlessly? Well, I would say I wouldn't say effortlessly, but probably I could at the bare minimum do a mini shift relatively pretty proficiently. And especially here in Maui, okay, it's very relaxing here. Now, the last several, like, I would say 3 or 4, maybe 5 months now, I've had a lot going on with my CR, and that's been a very big, distractor, if you will, or just something I've needed to be dealing with. So, it's made it a little bit, on the tougher end for me to not tough, but it's that when I start to shift, I just have, like, this not voice in my head, but it's more of a sense, and it's coming from myself. It's like, "Get back to this," or "Do your CR," like, do something in my CR, and then I stop my shifting method, okay? But that's really been happening the last maybe 5 months or so. But, yeah, so but generally speaking, I'm very proficient at shifting, yes. Now, back in 2022, the latter half of 2022 and part of 2023, there was a period of time I was shifting every single day, okay? Some of it was intentional, like I was or meaning I was intentionally shifting to where I wanted to go. Other times I was leaving the door open to shift to where I would just go, okay? Usually it was a parallel reality CRDR though, okay? But all the experiences were within the intentional macro parameters. Like, in other words, I was intending to have a good experience or a profound experience or a fun experience or a non-PG experience, okay? Or something like this, okay? And I would have it, all right? But that was when I was very my CR life was much more clear at that point in time. So, but that's just how it is for me because even if you have some distractions, you can still be able to shift. It just may be a little bit more difficult, okay? Okay. Let me see. Let me go ahead and catch up here. Okay. Okay. All right. This is getting our where's our chat going here? Okay. I don't know why, but the Gregory part of his name reminds me of Gregory from FNAF Security Breach. What is FNAF again? I've seen that acronym. I feel like I'm kind of like just something's going over my head again. What is FNAF again? Let's see. Okay. Dude, what are you on, Harami? Okay. Like you are really going to the next level with that eggnog. Okay. Okay. I cannot even repeat some of the stuff you're saying, all right? That I again, how does a human brain conceive of the things you're conceiving? Please enlighten us because some of the stuff you're saying, like, I wouldn't even conceive of like, in my brain, okay? Like, what on earth are we doing here today? Okay. Is shifting not just glorified da no, so shifting is different from daydreaming or visualizing. So jelly luminescence, imagine the experience you're having right now in this reality, okay? Now imagine you're having an experience that is just as real as this experience, the same kind of degree of realism. It's just taking place in another reality. Okay. So don't think of it like you're daydreaming or you're astral projecting or hallucinating. Those are all different things. Okay. Imagine that you're again having an experience. This is the easiest way to conceive of it. So conceptualize and understand and acknowledge the sensory experience you're having right now. Now just imagine you're doing that in another reality. Okay. That's what we're talking about here, okay? Now, you can experience other realities that are very similar to this one. You can also experience realities that are very different than this one. Okay. There are up to an infinite number of possible realities that you can experience. Okay. Is this community still a thing on TikTok? Yes, it is very much so, Lena. All right. All right. Glad that you're enjoying yourself, Emerald, and everyone else. All right. Okay. Do I have any tips on dream shifting? That's really interesting because when I've had my dream shifts, I don't know why that's the case now that I think about it. Why sometimes they're more of like a dream shift and other times they're like the regular reality shifts. But as far as tips, um, I guess you could okay, think of it like this. So if any of you are proficient in lucid dreaming or you just like to dream in general, so you can have an intention to have more of a dreamy type of shift experience or to have a shifting experience that doesn't have consequence or it's not real, okay? And that way you can kinda get a feel for it in a way that doesn't have as the kind of consequence, okay? This is just me kind of intuiting right now, but I feel like I need to kind of meditate on this a little bit to really get a more crystal clear answer, alright? I hope that kinda still helped you in a way. Okay. Well, I like to sleep, that's one thing. Okay, Maddie. Well, it's nice to hear that you like to sleep. Okay. We all sleeping is nice. Sleeping is very comfortable. All right. Are you in contact with other shifters? Are you talking about other shift talkers or people like that? There's a couple that that I follow on my account. There's a couple, I guess, maybe like 5 or 6. There's a couple that I like, I suppose, yeah, but I tend to not watch too much, of other Shift Talk content at the moment because I'm still focused on just finishing this Shifters Hub, okay? But, yeah, I mean, I don't have as much contact at the moment with other Shift Talkers, but I'm sure that's gonna change in the future, okay? Let's see here. I'm really scared to get too attached to the person in my DR, and it would impact. Are you saying impact my CR? Yeah, so this is what I was talking about earlier about why I think that maybe for me, this is why I like having, shifts that don't last as long because I feel like maybe that would kind of impact my groundedness, and that's kind of what you're talking about here. Um, so perhaps what could be good is to focus on mini shifts or regular shifts that don't last as long. And that way you still can kind of have, perhaps for you, to have more of a balance with your CR and your DR experiences. Okay. So, but it just depends because some people may be able to do longer shifts, but still have that balance. It's just, depends on where we're at with our shifting journey. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. What was my DR? My main DR is my new thriving universe number one. All right. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and real quick check out TikTok. I mean YouTube. Okay, Asha, I see your comment on YouTube. Thank you for that. When you shift your DR, how much of your CR life do you remember? So most of the time, once I'm fully immersed in my DR, I don't really remember much of my CR at all. I'm pretty much fully immersed in my CR. What multiverse theory do you believe in? And that shifting comes from many worlds interpretation or another one. So my view is that there's already I don't know how many universes already. I would say there's up to an infinite number. And I'm not sure where this fits into, but I feel like universes are always being created. They're always being created. There's already universes that already exist. Now, how I look at it is this way. If you want to say there are infinite universes already, here's how I look at it. If someone or something decides to create another universe, you're adding plus one to infinity. The previous infinity becomes a finite number, and the plus one to the previous infinity becomes the new infinity, if this makes sense. So I don't know what theory this would subscribe to, but basically, I would say that realities are being created basically, all the time. And perhaps when a choice is made, this is I think the many worlds interpretation, or I get it confused. There's another type of quantum physics multiverse theory, basically the one where you're making a decision. Okay, you're making a decision, you're taking an action, and this creates 2 in theory, it can create more than 2 universes. You can say where one reality where you make the decision, another where you don't make a decision, and also another reality where you make a different decision altogether. And, I'm still kind of from a mainstream or a scientific method kind of arena, still kind of discerning how this is working. So, but from my understanding and just from my own experience, which a little bit I think about in my preface, where I had an experience where I was everything and nothing simultaneously at the same time, okay? That was a part of my of that initial experience, okay, which I'm not gonna go into here on this TikTok, but because it's a little bit too spicy, all right, because of the subject matter. But from that vantage point, it does seem indeed that there already are basically an infinite number of universes already. And again, there also can be new universes created as I was explaining there. Okay. I hope that made sense. I feel like I was kind of a little bit all over the place with that answer, but I hope that did make sense. Okay. Let me go ahead and catch up here. Welcome in Kiara. Good to have you. And actually, Lindsay, thank you for the follow. Does it feel scary to not remember anything from your CR? No, not at all, because when I'm in my DR, I fully take on my DR self, their thoughts, their desires, etc. So it's kind of like the what you never had, right? It's kind of a little bit like that because when I'm full in my DR, my vantage point is that I'm now living, so there's nothing to remember about another reality in that sense. This is how it is typically. There are times when I have remembered things from my CR, or when I'm about to shift back, I'll start thinking about my CR happen. But in terms of at no point does that feel scary to me. It just feels very like just very okay or very fine, very natural. All right. But yeah, it doesn't feel scary at all for me. Not in my experience. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Sun is really bright right now, chat. Okay. Thank you, Sarah, for the follow. I appreciate you. My Uncle Jay's called. Okay, thank you for that star. All right. Hi, here, shifter with years of experience. Okay, is it Nadia or Nadia? I'll say Nadia, but feel free to correct me. Okay, if that's not how you say your name. How long have you been shifting for? All right. It's nice to see another shifter who's been shifting for a while. Well, there are certain things I don't need to practice for. Okay. Okay, Maddie. So things that you don't need to practice for, would that be perhaps hmm, let's think about this for a second. Um, I'm trying to think of a very PG response here. Perhaps posting emojis. I know you post emojis. I know you don't need to practice for posting emojis, okay? I'm sure, let's see, what else? For being a very person, all right? Naturally so. I know you don't need yes, exactly. You don't need to practice for breathing air or drinking water, all right? Very PG things indeed, Matt. Okay. All right. I just remembered something you said the other in like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago in a live stream. I will not repeat it. It's what got you your initial timeout. There's a particular flower, and you were equating that with a particular type of device, okay? I think you know what I'm talking about, and I just thought of that, okay? But I'm not going to go further than that. But I didn't even know what that was. I had to Google it, and I just started laughing, and, it just I can't talk about it any further here, but that was pretty wild when I Googled it, and there was, like, a store, and they were selling all kinds of other stuff, but that's all I'm going to say. Okay. Oh my god, what are you on, Harami? Jeez, man. Okay. Not yeah, okay. You all know what we're talking about here with that, though, right? We know what we're talking about. Let's go ahead and check the YouTube here. Alright. I visualize everything and engage all physical senses for my DR. Do you have any tips for us visualizers? Well, My tip here for you solely would be just to keep focusing on it, keep intensifying it as you are comfortably and naturally able to do so, okay? And just trusting that you can and will shift to your DR, okay? So you can use visualization to help connect you with your DR. But more importantly than that is just kind of connecting again with the unique frequency or essence, the vibe, okay, the overall vibe of your DR and entering that, okay, for lack of a better word of saying it. All right. I hope that kind of helps you there, Sully. All right. Just because my DR is about us. Okay. Thank you for that. Harami, thank you for sharing your fanfic. Okay. Harami has turned into quite the fan, must we say that, chat? All right. Good to hear that you ordered the book. I hope it helps you, Tazzy. Also, anyone that wants to join the team, it would be a delight to have you on the team. It's only one coin. It's that little heart me icon in the coin section. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Have you ever experienced panicking when you reach close to shifting? I have not. Oh, wow, there's just a cat just appeared here on the deck, chat. There are so many animals and so many bugs here in Maui. But the nice thing about it, thank you for the heartbeat neighbor. We appreciate it. Thank you so much and welcome to the team. All right. One thing that's really nice about Hawaii is that they don't have any predator animals. Um, and the air is very some of the best air in the world. Okay. There's like no pollution, things like this. But the animals and the bugs love it. And there's a lot of horses here, chat. There's a lot of um not moose. What's the other, oh, deer. Yes, there's a lot of deer, surprisingly. I wouldn't have thought that. But there's a lot of different animals like that here, chat. And there's just a cat here that's just hanging out here on the balcony. Okay. Let me go ahead and catch up here. Okay. Hey, Kat, good to have you. Welcome in. Nice to see you, Kat. All right. Let's see here. Have I ever shifted back on accident? Like being so there have been several times when I have gone to a DR, and when I start thinking about my CR, that's when I begin to shift back. That has happened, but there's been other times where I think about my CR and I don't shift back. So it's varied in that way, and I'm not sure why that's the case. But if you want to say that's like an accident, I guess that would be the closest I've had to that happening. Yes. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. You're very welcome, neighbor. All right. The oh, did someone send a hat and mustache and I missed it? Yeah, because you I see that you said yeehaw, Maddie. Okay, let's see here. You have a lot of deer. There's a lot of deer there too in the where you're at, Asha. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Let's see. You love kitties, Emerald. Okay. My book is on Kindle. Yes. All right. It's on Kindle. You can get it in the PDF version on my Etsy store. And again, this is how my book looks. All right, it's called The Core Essentials of Reality Shifting, again by Gregory Venvonis right here. Etsy, Audible, and Amazon is where you can find it. Okay. Okay. They randomly show up outside my bedroom window. Interesting. Yeah, so anyway, so yeah, it's really hard to have good posture in this chair, chat. So if you see my shoulders kind of scrunching, I have these like I was saying this earlier, how the hand rests don't fold. I can't move them, and they're, like, really high up, so it's like, I either have to go like sit like this, which is uncomfortable, or I have to kind of, like, sit like this, and my shoulders are up. So, it is what it is, chat. We have to lock in and do these questions and be here for you here, chat, and just have a good time. Are we having a good time, chat, by the way? Are we enjoying ourselves? Let me know. Alright? Okay. Let's see, there's a couple of us here on YouTube as well. For anyone that does not know, I'm also on YouTube streaming. My handle is Venvonis, the at symbol, Venvonis, Venvonis. And again, you can find the link in my TikTok bio to take you there directly. You mentioned you completely inhabit your DR self when shifting. Does this mean there's a chance you can just forget to shift back? So, with what I do with regular shifting, is that at some point you always do shift back. Now, overall, I've kind of embodied this kind of intention or state of being that my shifts are going to be a couple days or just not, or basically as long as is comfortable or sufficient for me. And that right now is basically a couple days or maybe a week, something like this. So, and my focus right now when I do shift is regular reality shifting, although my goal is to do a gradual perma shift to my DR, um, right now I'm mostly focused on regular reality shifting, okay? So, you don't have to so it's not about forgetting, all right? You do automatically shift back when you do regular shifting, you always shift back to your same CR. That's how it has been in my experience, and that's how it's been in other shifting testimonies I've seen as well, all right? Okay, and Harami's DR, the deer are purple, okay. Oh, can you show let me see. Oh, he's gone. Where'd he go? Hold on. Is he still here? No, the kitty left. Okay, so if he comes back, I don't know if it's a he or she. I'll see if I can turn the camera on and show you. Okay. All right. Harami is asking, "What color dress do you want for our wedding, Greg?" Well, perhaps in a very far away land, very far away DR. I suppose there is a reality where, you know, you'll never see me wear a dress here, but perhaps a kilt. Why don't you imagine that, Harami? Do a kilt. How about that? Okay. So, I guess that would that qualify? Alright. Do a kilt, okay? Or perhaps some knight armor, alright? Like, do some metallic metallized knight armor. How about that? Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see. It's thank you in any case, and so sorry to hear that that's happened, but, as long as whatever is if you anyone that wants to send, including you, and so whatever is as long as it's a comfortable amount. I don't want anyone, doing overdoing it, okay? So just make sure that it's comfortable. Thank you, Tazzy, for the heart me. But any support of that obviously is very well appreciated. It goes a very long way. But I wouldn't feel right if that's, like, really, like, overdoing it for you, okay? So, it's okay to, take a break if you need to, okay? Thank you, neighbor, for the lightning bolts. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Alright. I have never worn a kilt, okay? That was just off the top of my head, but, I guess isn't that kind of a kind of skirt or dress? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was. Let's see. Oh, you do? Okay. Okay, well, that's fine then, but, sometimes our banks every time I've come to Hawaii or a different place, my bank always acts kind of weird because it thinks like it could be fraud or something because I'm just all of a sudden, doing transactions in a new place, and, sometimes, yeah, banks can be a little bit extra, but, usually it's pretty easy to clear it up, at least in my experience, but, it is what it is sometimes. It is what it is, alright? Let's see here. Let's see. I keep getting these little notifications here, okay. Let's check here in on, YouTube here. Alright. I forget my DR experience once I turn back to my CR, but not the fact I actually shifted. I think this way will not impact yes, you can, sir. If you really wanna focus on basically letting go of your DR experience and your and the memories of it, you can in fact do that while retaining the idea or the memory that you shifted in general. Yes, you can do that. And probably the easiest way to do that is to think about even an experience you've had in your CR that you would like to forget or you'd like to forget the micro details of. Focus on so if you already do that, apply that same kind of strategy, that same kind of, yeah, strategy to how you would do it with your DR experience as well, okay? Can you shift from a perma shift? Yes, full Nelson. In fact, technically, I've already done that myself here. So, but yes, that's one of the things about perma shifting is that you're aware that you shifted from a previous reality. But because you can always you're capable of shifting, you can always just shift from one reality to another reality, okay? There's nothing stopping you from doing so. You have that capability to shift to where you prefer and deserve to shift to, full Nelson, all right? Okay. I keep trying to use my mouse on my phone. This is really funny. Like, I keep trying to scroll down on the comments with my mouse here. Okay, Let's see here. Let's see here. Can I just set an intention to wake up in my DR? Does that work? It can, Apollo. I would just say you wanna have the fundamentals of that, again, is understanding that on the core level, that you have the capability and desirability to shift to where you prefer to shift, okay? Alright. But yes, you can do that, Apollo. Okay. Yeah, he is the Har I don't know what Harami is on, but, yeah, I mean, you all be the judge here, chat, of what's going on, okay? You all be the judge. I came from YouTube to see this Harami dude. He is wildin'. Yes, he is. All right. Let's see here. We're just checking up here. We've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. Okay. Use your mouse. Okay. You are flirting with that time out for sure, man. All right. I must say, Asha, you have been very how shall I say? Very well behaved today, Masha. You've been very, very well behaved, but Maddie, I cannot say the same for you though. Okay, thank you for the rose. I appreciate that. But thank you. You've been very, very skibbity, Asha. All right. Some skibbity. So Asha, I know that you said that you were the alpha, the alpha skibbity male or skibbity alpha male. Is that true? Let us know, Asha. All right. Okay. Do you do your method awake or do you use an sleep method? Um, it just I mean, honestly, it just comes down to how I feel like doing it. Typically, it tends to be, I tend to lean towards sleep methods or using sometimes there's methods I use that could be used for either or, like my hands of time method, or even the intent method. Well, the intent method is more of a sleep method, but, I have found more success doing sleep methods, but for you or for anyone else, maybe awake methods are better. It just, again, depends on you, but I do tend to do a sleep methods more. You're very welcome, Asha. You are very welcome. I did it again. I keep trying to use my mouse to scroll down on my phone. Okay, okay. I am the alpha skibbity male Rizzler, god of the sun and the moon. That's funny. Yes, definitely, Asha. I agree. All right. Is it as real as people say? Yes, Demi. It is just as real as this reality. Okay. Definitely just as real. I want to emphasize that. Okay. Having said that, you can have what I've identified these experiences of what I'm calling right now as dream shifts. And the difference with those is that they're not as true. So they're like fictitious or false or almost like an imitation of the real thing. Okay. Other than that, they have like a really deep sense of like a false realism, okay? And it took me a while to realize that distinction. Now, with regular shifting, the level of realism is like here. It's true and it's real. It's factual, okay? And there's consequence, okay? Let's see. Have I considered doing ASMR? I have not. Although I have in a sense, okay, I've had different okay, I'll just say it. I've had previous girlfriends, okay? And I have unintentionally done ASMR, I guess, just, when I've spoken to them at certain times of the evening, okay, and they have fallen asleep, okay, so I guess that's happened before, right? But I've never, like, done ASMR, like, designated, like, on YouTube or something like that, but I've thought about doing voice acting. I've also done my audiobook, okay? So, that's one thing, but I've never done ASMR, like, if in an official capacity. Okay, let's see what we have here. You said that you plan to perma shift, so what would happen to would I still exist in this reality? So the way I would look at it is, I guess a different fractal of my overall consciousness would continue living on in this particular reality. Um, so I guess that's how that would work, right? So, but I would still be here, but just a different fractal of my overall consciousness. Now, people have asked, has that already happened? And from my vantage point, I feel like this is still the same me, the same fractal, okay? And I feel like I've been in the same reality for a while, okay? This feels like it's pretty much the same, right? Um, yeah, so that's kind of my take on it, and soup, all right? Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, Patty. I see. Well, these are they're previous relationships, previous girlfriends, okay? Okay. All right. Is that the Kids Bop version? In terms of what I just explained, yes. Well, actually, no, because with the situation or um, the scenarios I was recalling, those were PG, okay? It was just as I was explaining it. I was basically communicating with them or talking about something, and they were falling asleep. They were falling asleep, okay? They fell asleep. And some of them very much were relaxing, okay? But they were PG. Those are very PG, okay? If they weren't, I would say so, but those instances were PG. Okay, let me see. Give us some ASMR. I don't even know well, I don't even know how to do so every time I see ASMR videos, I just hear they sound like they're just whispering and I hear like their lips smattering. Is that the right word? Like they're smacking. Like I hear like lips smacking or it sounds like they have like really wet lips and I just can't get into it. But when I talk about like when I've done ASMR, it's just me talking at a really low voice, right? Um or even just talking at my room level voice. Okay. But yeah, I is it just me, or is it just, like, some of that ASMR just sounds like lip smacking or, like, it's just, like, wet things happening, and I just can't get into it, but that's just me. Okay. What is the difference between methods for regular shifting and perma-shifting? Um, well, there's some methods that I suppose you can use for either or, you just have to kind of reframe your intention, reframe your focus, okay? And, things like that, but there may be some NSoup with the subscription, let's go NSoup. W's to NSoup for subscribing, everybody. Alright, W's in the chat once more for NSoup, everybody. But yes, it just really, there's certain methods yes, that's right, I have a method that is, I've recommended so here's the thing, if anyone is interested, on my Etsy store, I can help you get your best shifting method or methods. There's another method I have that I've created where, what do I call it? Oh, the signature method. I have a signature method that is ideal for perma-shifting. It's supposed to signify finality, and it's optimized for perma-shifting. And, basically, you're basically doing a letter or a document with yourself and your DR self on an energetic basis, and you're doing it for the purpose and the context of perma-shifting. Maybe I don't know, I'm a little bit, on the fence if I should do a TikTok video on that method or not, but I do sometimes recommend it for people I've helped find their ideal shifting method or methods, alright? What is the best method for a beginner? I would recommend the 17 seconds method or the intent method, alright? Okay. I think voice acting would fit me well. I think the way you talk would be satisfying. Thank you for that, JB. I'm definitely interested in doing voice acting. I feel like I can do a couple accents. I feel like I can do like a British accent. I can like a posh British accent. I can do a villainous accent. Um, Different ones too. I can do like an like from India type of accent, but I have to really be feeling it. It's hard for me to just kind of like if someone's like, "Do this accent," I have to kind of like it's not as easy. It has to come out naturally for me. But I feel like if I practiced at it, I could probably do it more on command. But I'm interested in doing voice acting. If anyone has any recommendations, I am down to hear it. And good to hear that you're enjoying the book so far, neighbor. Nice to hear it. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Um, let's see here. Okay. I haven't seen Uncivil Keith. So Uncivil Keith, if you're still in here, I remember you because I think when I first started posting videos, you commented on one. There's a couple people I remember, they're like my early commenters. I think Uncivil Keith were one of them. I remember you. I'm so jealous of those cookie eating ASMRs. All right. Okay. What do you so Harami, would you like to share with us today? What are you on with your fanfic? Okay. You got some pretty wild fanfic. I didn't know that it's pretty wild, chat. So Harami starts off as an anti-shifter. Maybe he still is. And now this dude is like, fanficking over me and Goku for some reason and Master Roshi. I don't know how our brain conceptualizes of all that together, but you tell me, chat. All right. Do I post videos on YouTube too or just live? Is it Lyra? I have a couple videos on YouTube. I have some shifting affirmation videos, but I do intend on having more in the future. All right. So I want to have longer form advice videos and also guided meditation videos as well. So look out for that as well. And feel free to subscribe on my YouTube. The link is in my TikTok bio. Okay. Let's see. You should get into acting. So about regular acting, the role would have to be I feel like I wouldn't be like a great actor unless it's just I'm able to be myself in a role. So for example, if the role was like I'm some I don't know, some lawyer or something or some medical doctor or like but it's just me in those roles, I could do that. But like if someone's like, "Okay, now you're like some 20 something banker that's about to get laid off and you have a secret desire to be an airline pilot or something that's totally different than what I'm doing. Thank you for the team cheers and soup. I appreciate you for that. I wouldn't be able to do that, but it has to be something that's natural to me. And then I could probably do acting very well. Okay. Like for example, if I was doing a biopic on Obama, maybe I could do that because in a sense there's some parallels there. Like already with the voice and my height and the look and the whole thing. And I am interested in politics and all that very much so. And so it would be a fit. Okay. Even though I didn't have obviously the exact life that Obama has had, growing up and all that. I feel like I could possibly do something like that. But if it's something way different than my personality, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. Okay, let's go ahead and catch up here. We hear the female voice? Oh my god, okay, what would pro okay, I don't have it with me, but if I had to I would have to read my book. Not this book, but I've written a couple fiction novels, and I would have to read some of the dialogue from that. That would probably be the best way I could do my female voice, but one of these days, okay? One of these days. Let's see here. Hey, Harami, have you ever been a bridesmaid before? Let us know in the chat. Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and catch up here. Okay. Let's see here. Let's check up on YouTube, by the way. Do you retain your core personality mindset when you shift, or can you drastically change this through scripting? Either way is possible, Peter. So for me, in my experiences, I basically have retained my personality, but I know it's possible to make changes if you want. I just haven't had a desire to change like my personality really. Um, Now there's maybe a couple I mean, over the years, I've, improved things. For example, just being more straightforward, okay, rather than being like, how would I say, like just being like too private. Like I want to be more straightforward. That's one reason I'm doing these live streams too, is like it's just helping me get more out of my shell in that way. Um, so but in terms of my like actual personality, like radically changing it, I haven't really had any desire to do so. So in my DRs, I'm basically me. Okay. But just perhaps even more like how do I want to say? Just more so, just more of myself, if you will. But you can do either one, Peter. All right. Let me go ahead and catch up here on both. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Uh, Where's it like what? What's it like? I stepped into another world and I'm filled with wonder. I'm not sure. Can you please rephrase your question there, neighbor? I'm not sure what you mean there. Okay. Let's see. Oh, your ship. I just noticed we have guest requests now. Wow. So when did that happen? Okay. Let's see. Wait, Harami, you were there. Oh, wait. Should I bring up Harami? Should I actually bring up Harami, or is that going to be a total nightmare if I do that? Let me know okay, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll chat. Should I bring up Harami on the live? Oops. 1 second here. 1 second. Um, what's going on? Oh, Happy Face says yes, bring up Harami. Crying Face says no. Okay. Let's do a vote. Let's do a vote here. Oh man. It seems like you all want to see. Sounds like okay, we're feeling daring today, chat. We are feeling daring. So, oh boy, I don't know if I am ready for this chat. I don't know if this is a very old meme, but I don't know if my body is ready for this kind of interaction. Okay. Will the will the parameters of time and space maintain themselves as we bring up Harami? Let's find out. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. Here we go, chat. Here we go. Let's see here. Oh well, you were here. You're up. You're up, buddy. Okay, you. Oh my god! Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Your beard is even more dynamic on the chat or on the actual, you know, thingy here than it is on your avatar, on your PFP. I'm quite surprised. Thank you for the rose. Okay. So would you like to share how you're shifting? How are you so good at shifting? You were once before an anti-shifter, and now you're like a master. Okay. Okay. Wow, really? I didn't know Chuck Norris was a shifter. That's like breaking news there. Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah, well, at the same time, I've never met Chuck Norris in another reality or this one. So you're getting some gifts. So you have some fans. You're getting some roses, you're getting some gifts. You see that? You have 31 coins there. Look at that. 43 now. Look at you. This is almost like your live stream right now. What are we doing, chat? What are we actually doing today? This is wow. Okay. So, what would you say what is this live right now? Okay, so let's do some Q&A here. So, what is your preferred shifting method to okay, you can't okay, we can't go that direction. That's too much. That's too much live stream. Okay. Okay. So Asha has a question for you. Is your beard for sale? She's wondering. Okay. Well, you can speak for yourself on that one. Like for me, it's like we have our integrity, okay, at least for me. But that's interesting that you'd sell your beard. I think I would for my looks like you're putting it to good use right now, I would say. You're getting some gifts with that beard. You know, you have some fans. So how's that jawline going? I've heard that, some people that grow beards. I that's what I heard about people that have beards, like it's because the jawline is not it. Is that what's going okay. Okay, yeah, we're looking forward to that. We want that update. We really do want the update here because we're unaliving to know. Oh god. Okay. That's that's too spicy. What's the chat thing? Say what? So what so what is it in your brain that inspired you to create a DR where I'm in it, you have Goku and Master Roshi and yourself? What is it? Okay. That's interesting that you ended up there. What's again, what kind of neurons are firing there to to captivate this kind of inspiration? I to me, I just cannot I can't conceive of that. That's okay. Hmm. Well, we do know that sometimes that can help you connect with particular DRs. If you watch something, you read something, that can sometimes help us, connect with the unique frequency of a desired reality. Interesting. That happened to me in a sense. So about a year and a half ago, I shifted to this wooden stick figure DR, where it was kind of like a mix of Hawaii or, what's the other place? I'm blanking on the other place by Florida. Why am I blanking on it? I was just talking about it earlier. That island place, the Bahamas. Okay. But imagine that, but, like, with N64 type of graphics, and when okay, I'm gonna describe it a different way so you don't get any ideas, but I was relaxing, and this this reality was beginning to overtake my perspective, my perception, and, after focusing on it for a while and basically doing my shifting fundamentals, I found myself shifted there, anchored there for about if I had to estimate, it was something like maybe no more than an hour, but within an hour of time, I was there. And so that happened. So indeed, sometimes realities can be compelled maybe to get your attention so that you can have an experience there, perhaps. Okay. Okay. Maddie says that you're mewing. Are you mewing right now? Okay, we see you there. We see you there with the mute. You got the beard action. You're mewing under that beard. All right. Someone else is trying to request up. Who do we have here? Oh, Emerald and Tazzy. Okay, let's have a little bit of a party chat. So I'm bringing up Tazzy and Emerald, everybody. Okay. Welcome, Emerald. Good to have you in here. Welcome. How are you doing? Can you hear us? Hello? You there? It's yeah, you're at 47. You're doing pretty well. Okay, I see there. Are you there, Emerald? Are you still there? You're very welcome. Go ahead. Yeah, you can say Gregory, Greg. Oh God, no. Okay, so we only have okay. So I guess that's true. So Maddie, okay, that's good to hear. I think Asha and Maddie would have something to say about that. I think for sure. But where's Emerald? Emerald, I think let's see. Okay, this live, is this even a shifting live anymore? And my YouTube is cooked. Okay. Okay. All right. So so you like Dragon Ball Z, I take it. Yeah. Well, I guess there's some people that they think it's kind of they prefer things like well, I like My Hero Academia from I've watched of that, but Dragon Ball Z is like my original anime that I got started with, or actually technically Pokemon. I don't think of Pokemon as an anime, but I think that's like what got me started. But let's see, I like One Piece neighbor saying okay, but I like Dragon Ball Z more than Super, that's for sure. Okay, I've never seen Inuyasha, but I wasn't able to really get into it, but I like another one that's really an older one is, Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't know if anyone has seen that. I like that one. It's like a darker version of Dragon Ball Z in some respects. Yeah, and, Bleach, I like Bleach, and, okay, we can't do that. This is almost why I was like, I don't know if I should do these. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay. Okay. Say it again? I've never heard of it. Okay. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna take some more shifting questions here, but it was quite an interesting sit ex I guess, experience having you here on the live. But enjoy your 47 coins there, and enjoy your thank you for that. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. Take care, buddy. Alright. I don't know how to make this go back to normal. Okay. Oh, you weren't trying to join? Okay. I can just disconnect you there. I don't know how to make this go back to normal. I hope you all enjoyed whatever that was, okay? But, it was a very much of, an improv there, and we have no viewers on my YouTube. I think everyone just left after that. Okay. Anyway, so I hope you all were enjoying that. I don't know how to make this go back to normal. 1 second here, chat. 1 second, 1 second. Okay. How do I make this go back to normal? Okay. Alright. Okay, let me do this, chat. I'm gonna do a reset because I don't know how to make this go back to normal. I'm gonna do a reset. I'll be back in, like, I don't know, 5 minutes, something like that, okay? I'll be right back. Okay. Let's see. How do I oh, here we go. Alright. Okay.